What would the body be without the circulatory system?
The main functions of the circulatory system in humans is to deliver oxygen and nutrients to all parts of the body and to remove wastes. It also plays an important role in the immune system, defending against infections and transport hormones.
The white blood cells are the body cells that are specified to fight off infection in the human body. They hang around the body, and once they detect a disease, they will immediately start an attack. They can kill germs by forming an antibody which can overcome the power of the disease, or they can surround it until death. The white blood cells tend to have a short lifetime where they can live from a few days to a few weeks.
The plasma is a liquid-like substance that is used to transport blood cells. It is a yellowish fluid that makes up 50% of humans' blood. Most of the plasma is made out of water. The platelets are what are used to stop bleeding of cuts. They prevent blood from bleeding out of the human body and are one of the reasons we are still alive. There are tiny little bodies inside of us, and when we get a cut, their job is to clot the blood. They have a sticky surface which allows them to clot blood easily. The red blood cells are the blood cells that transport oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout the body. Hemoglobin is the iron that contains oxygen and is carried with the red blood cells. When the blood cells go through the lungs, oxygen molecules attach to the hemoglobin, oxygenating it. In a single drop of blood, there can be millions of red blood cells. And without the red blood cells, the body would just not function.
Here you can now witness the birth of the red blood cell, as it is born in the bone marrow. Here is the birth of the white blood cell. It is also born in the bone marrow and follows the red blood cell around. And last but not least, the birth of the platelets in the bone marrow. Now that the red blood cell, white blood cell, and plasma have all been born in the bone marrow, they are now making their way throughout the body toward the heart. After that long journey, these cells have now made their way to the heart, where they will be pumped out the right side of the heart and make their way towards the lungs to be oxygenated. These cells now continue traveling throughout the body. Now that they have been pumped out the right side of the heart, they begin to make their way to the lungs, where they will then be oxygenated and then be pumped through the body to oxygenate the body. Here, the red blood cell is now being oxygenated by the lungs. The plasma is following the red blood cell along with the white blood cell in order to keep it protected. Now that the red blood cell has been oxygenated, it is now traveling throughout the body along with the plasma and the white blood cell. This is so that they can keep the red blood cell protected so that it can fulfill its job of oxygenating the body after it's gone through the lungs. The cycle now ends here, and these cells are composted in the body, and new cells are born. And then the cycle continues again and again. It takes 20 seconds for the red blood cells to circle the entire body. Plus, red blood cells circle the body for 100 to 120 days until their components are recycled. When each one of these 4 blood cells do their job inside the body, which is, for the platelets, they stop blood from getting outside the body. The plasma, they transport blood cells. The red blood cells, they transport oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout the body. And for the white blood cells, they protect
the body from germs. So when each one of these cells does their job in the body, then the body continues to function properly. When the time comes for each one of these cells to be recycled inside the body, new cells are born, and the cycle continues again and again. Here's a diagram of the back of the heart. This includes arteries, the left atrium, and many other parts of the back of the heart that are used to pump blood throughout the body. Here's a diagram of the front of the heart. This includes the pulmonary veins and the pulmonary trunk. Also includes the right atrium and many other crucial parts that are used for the front of the heart to be able to pump blood throughout the body. As you witness the journey of the red blood cell, plasma, and white blood cell as they travel through the heart and through the body, you will see that there is a difference when they are pumped through the right side versus through the left side. The heart has two sides, but both deliver blood to different subjects. The right side of the heart pumps blood to the lungs, while the left side of the heart receives the oxygenated blood from the lungs and pumps it all around the body. The difference between the two is that the blood on the right side is normal blood, and that is already inside the body and hasn't been oxygenated, while the blood cells on the left side have been oxygenated and are then beginning to be pumped around the body. Cuts are the least of the body's worries when it comes to the circulatory system. There are several deadly diseases that strike hard on the health of the body, specifically on the heart. Heart failure occurs in 2% of adults. The heart being one of the most important and crucial parts of the circulatory system, when it fails, blood can no longer be pumped through the body. In most cases, the heart is in need of replacement or transplant in order for the body to continue functioning properly. Another illness involving the circulatory system is high blood pressure. High blood pressure can occur in 1 in 3 adults in the United States. The condition itself usually has no symptoms. You can have it for years without even knowing. But when you do have high blood pressure, your arteries clot and less blood can travel through to the vessels, and blood soon begins to clot. During this time, HBP can damage the heart, blood vessels, kidneys, brain, and eyes by clotting the flow of blood and oxygen to these places. Here is a young girl who has cut her finger while she was knitting. Here are the platelets forming a seal so that the blood cells do not get out of the body. White blood cell looking for germs. There is a germ attacking the red blood cell, but the white blood cell attacks it and kills it. And then the red blood cell remains alive.